1987. As the Space Shuttle Challenger touches the stars and the cosmos pulls us ever closer, a different kind of celestial fascination takes root here on Earth. The world stands on a cusp of a new spiritual awakening, fueled not by ancient deities or traditional dogma, but by enigmatic visitors from the great unknown, unidentified flying objects. UFO religions emerge, blending age-old faith with a new narrative of extraterrestrial salvation, and communities of believers unite under the hopeful gaze of otherworldly eyes. But behind the tales of close encounters and messages from the stars, shadows of skepticism and intrigue dance. Are these faiths genuine spiritual awakenings, or the byproduct of modern anxieties and our collective yearning for the infinite? What happens when devotion transcends our planet and faith becomes interstellar? This case file, join the theorists as they rise to the heights of new extrasolar enumerations and sensual cosmic transcendence in Celestial Faiths, the mystical universe of UFO religions.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing Case File 292. UFO Religions. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
We'll be your preachers for tonight. Did I do that the right way?
I don't know. Top.
Got it.
The cross?
Yeah,
top,
here.
Go across? Does it matter if you go down,
We go
like right
bang,
to left
bang,
or left to
bang,
right?
bang. Yeah,
What's the one?
different. Catholics do one,
spectacles,
Roman Orthodox do the other
testicles,
one.
What
wall
if
and
I,
watch.
so if I turn the cross upside down, I can do like an antichrist.
A reverse one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find a corner to stand in. Lose my religion.
Wait, what's going on here, Andrew?
With what?
What's going on here with Smart Andrew?
This
trying
is
to-
purely a fashion statement.
Are you trying to start a new
don't like
character on the show?
Yeah, this is my new
You
look.
got tired of years of ridicule and
Trying to be
We
smart.
already got one of these guys.
Yep. There's only be one pair.
can only be one
Yeah.
glasses guy.
What's up with the glasses?
He turns his hat
I
backwards, puts
have-
the glasses on, and
Hold
he's good.
I'll tell you right now. I have accommodative instability, excess ocular motor dysfunction.
A couple more words in there or what? Nerd. You fucking nerd.
You dork, holy nerd.
Did you just
You
Google?
have to wear those?
nerd.
Did you just Google the most random eye condition imaginable?
That was on my prescription.
Diagnosis.
That's on my fucking email or what I got.
Those are prescription nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, you just showed,
Oh
you
my
just showed
God.
everyone your bank statement.
Here, let's
Imagine your
Accident.
eyes don't work.
No, basically the guy summed it up as I've been fucking hit in the head too many times, bro. I can't track things properly.
Yeah.
I get like, they thought I used to think I had vertigo until finally they're like, no, you don't.
So why
Yeah,
is that?
whatever the fuck that is.
Why don't they track it?
Put these
You don't
on.
have
And I was
vertigo,
like,
you fucking
indubitably,
nerd.
I don't have vertigo. Actually, I have
They're like, you don't have
motor
vertigo, you
neuron, something or other."
nerd. Here, what are these?
You just can't read.
Shit.
So wait, so you can't
So I
focus.
gotta wear them.
Is that why you're so
I gotta
bad
wear
at
them
video games too?
Maybe. I don't know.
Like shooters?
Well, I just notice it. What I've been noticing lately, I always thought I had vertigo because every once in a while it'd come in and out and be bad. Like some days would be bad, other days would be good. But I've been noticing in boxing when I'm like fighting somebody like that moves a lot of head movement and stuff, I'd be like watching him and get fucking dizzy. And like I'd start seeing double. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I haven't even been hit yet. So I
Just wait till you
went
get
in
hit
and-
wearing glasses. You're gonna be screwed.
Oh, no,
Well, that's the best thing. I'm wearing glasses.
No, I only have to wear them for 4 hours a day. So I get them, put them on at night, wear them, and then tomorrow I'm going to be fucking 2020.
It's supposed to slowly
2010.
reset your focus.
Well, I guess, I don't know. My vision's fine. So it's just, I get dizzy. So
I really wish that for whatever reason, it made you look like Bubbles.
buddy.
Like you got those, your eyes were just 4 times the size.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this
Way
on my
better.
fucking self. Here, I'll take my hat off and just show this ugly fucking mug. So I tried on these, I tried on these fucking circular ones. And I looked exactly like fucking Stanley Tucci. Like the same fucking person.
It's something about
I'll send you the
it's
picture.
something about your eyebrows and the lenses right below it that gives it a really good look.
Makes it look like a real thick
eyebrows, yeah.
frame.
It's not a good look.
You should get some
Well, yeah,
Morpheus glasses.
I found out I look exactly like Stanley Tucci with these fucking stupid glasses on. Not a big fan of that.
Could be worse.
anyways,
Getting old
tonight
fucking sucks.
That's
we're,
fair.
tonight we're talking about all sorts of, there's hundreds of thousands of religions. And wouldn't you know it, that some of them out there are circular, like centered on fucking UFOs.
Circular
Like, that's what-
centered.
Sign us up, baby.
On
I feel like you could
Right up our
basically
alley.
sell all of them involving UFO. They're all fucking like, where's heaven? Heaven's space, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Space is nice.
Yeah.
Come on. It's all the same shit.
You just got to do X, Y, and Z to get to there.
Yeah.
Usually involving
It's-
some
Pay
weird
money into
shit.
the fund.
I think a lot of people, well, as Brayden said, circular. Maybe it's like things have come full circle. It's if you go with the ancient astronaut there, you're going to be like, well, people started, worshiping aliens back then. And now then they moved over to they were gods. And now they just moved all the way back to, no, they were aliens.
We had it right the first time.
These things ebb and flow. I mean, there's lists, like you can fucking hashtag look it up, and there's tons and tons of UFOs religions and alien-centered religions that you should all join and be a part of, and not look too deep into, and just join.
Exactly.
Blind faith, just like you would with any other religion.
That's the best kind
just
of faith.
jump in.
If you wait until
the only way
after,
it works.
if you wait until after hours with our exclusive group, we're going to sell you a new religion that is actually made up
100%.
tonight. But
Totally
until
not a
then,
scam.
not a scam at all.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's just a
100%
common
not a
theme with
scam.
all religions. You just have to pay money to be a part of it, right?
yeah,
Part of the
It's
group.
not free. Salvation ain't free, baby.
Yes.
Let's go.
yeah. And we need your prayers, so head to patreon.com.
Let's go.
No, we've talked about kind of alien religions before, UFO religions before. Back when we talked about old George Van Tassel and the Integratron.
Yeah.
When he had the Ashtar Command religion, that they were like they put you on a list. They put you actually FBI were worried about them. Basically because of most of their tenets sounded a lot like kind of like communist propaganda at the time.
Call me bullshit.
But no, there are tons of UFO religions or religions that center around the idea that we are in contact with extraterrestrials, or have been, or currently are, with these aliens or people from a different planet. It's either interplanetary or extra dimensional aliens, and that they are giving us ways to live our lives, and there's stuff that we need to do in order to be,
They're providing guidance, and we need to do a series of steps to get there.
On this one, we're probably like, we thought about doing a couple of them. Like I've had some of these on my list for a while, and we'll probably end up doing a deep dive on a lot of these later, but we just kind of want to do a broad strokes kind of UFO religion, just see some of the we're kind of testing the waters, figuring out which one's right for us.
Yeah, that's it. We're doing the research for you, right? So we've narrowed it down to a couple that we think you could join.
One of the ones that always pops up, most probably because it's alphabetic, but the first is the Ethereus Society, which I see pop up a couple times.
Hey, it's got an awesome name too, though.
It does.
That does sound. I mean, if we're picking, like, this probably wins the name battle.
It does. So, Aetherius Society, which was founded by Dr. George King. In
What exactly
England.
was George King a doctor of?
Wait, I thought he was a taxi driver.
Well, he started off. So he started as a taxi driver, and then he became a fucking massive yogi.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know where he became a doctor. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking doctor of flexology or
when
something.
you get to a certain level in yoga.
Dr. Stretch, what?
But he founded.
Just like, I like the sound of Dr. King. Like, that's just, it's got a good fucking ring to it.
I can't take that. So he founded the Theorists Society in the mid-1950s, and it's based on the idea that there are highly evolved extraterrestrial beings, and these beings are known as the cosmic masters. So, He-Man, Skeletor.
Does it come with a battle cat? Is that part of the ignition?
I'm not sure. We have to look into that. It's like, if that is, I'm sold on a battle cat. Yeah. And these beings are said to reside on different planets and also in higher spiritual realms than our own.
So up a dimension, different planet. Is that what we're saying?
To the left.
Yeah.
To the left?
Yeah.
One dimension
up
up.
a dimension to the left.
Two to the left. Yeah.
Second hallway down there. And they're actually, so these beings are dedicated to the spiritual upliftment of humanity and the prevention of global disasters. So I don't know, Justice League I suppose.
Well, and you can go look up some videos, and I'm given their chanting and their they're chanting and stuff that are putting off these global disasters. 8 out of 10. Some good chanting going on.
Hey, the battery isn't going to charge itself. Okay, I've seen it.
You got to put the energy in. You got to put it out there so it can go into the battery.
But these rhythmic chanting in these group things they do are actually saving the world and staving off from disasters. They've had a couple slips off, obviously, like the tsunami that wiped out 150,000 people in Southeast Asia. It was just they were having a potluck, right? A couple of these earthquakes that have destroyed Haiti. They were busy.
I heard they weren't quite in sync for that one.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody kind of fucked
the
up.
flu was going around.
And COVID-19, right? You know what I mean? They can't be humming all the time, right? It's just tough, right? But if they weren't humming all the time, I can't even imagine where we'd be right now.
Yeah,
I don't even want to picture the world we would be living in.
What state of world would we be in?
Right?
Exactly.
Chaos.
It'd be
eating each
absolute
other.
scorched wasteland all across the face of Earth, just right now.
Beginning of Terminator 2.
Yeah. Basically, just all
crunching
skull
skulls.
crushing.
Yeah, they put off Judgment Day. They're the reason.
Yeah.
They said it's John Connor, but it wasn't. It's actually them.
they shut down Skynet before it was operational. All right.
So according to their tenets and their kind of their religion, the various major religious figures and other religions, or the major kind of Western and Eastern religions. So you're thinking of figures such as Buddha, Jesus, and Lao Tzu. All of them were actually cosmic masters.
What's a Jesus?
In themselves? Jesus.
And
Let me tell you about this guy called Jesus.
Yeah, this is a wild one, you guys.
Yeah.
All right. They believe that he came. All right. He's the son, but he's also the father.
Yes.
And the
Holy Spirit. Get that trifecta, triple threat.
All together. They call it the Trinity.
Another thing, we're going to learn about this guy later. He's got a lot of half brothers.
Yeah.
Fucking ton of them.
The one thing I had a question, because now I don't know. Hey, I'm not a religious historian or scholar, but when they were because when I was reading this and they're like, oh yeah, the Buddhism and Buddha, and I was like, well, isn't Buddhism a philosophy, not a religion? And wasn't Buddha a legit person?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus was a legit person.
Well, was he though?
There's a lot of Jesus. There's a lot of people named Jesus way back then.
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty popular name.
Popular name.
Andrew, you're not wrong.
Josh. It was like Josh.
Yeah,
the word
Jesus.
Josh. They named Josh back then. But yeah, it's they are. I could say that most of these ones are. They hold that each one of these cosmic masters of their own religions
of the universe
are all from different planets. So I thought that found that Jesus and Buddha are both from Venus, for example, and Krishna is from Saturn. So
does every planet have its own cosmic?
That seems that way.
Master. That's pretty fun.
That's pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's lore. I'm buying into this.
Yeah, the lore is good.
Here, listen. Some people listening might be like, "Hey, these guys are we're not taking shit. We told you that we're trying to figure out which one's for us." All right,
we're trying to sell ourselves.
We're asking the hard questions, right? We want to know. We want to be informed religious people.
So this one, it does have a lot. Seems to have in common with some flavors of Buddhism and Hinduism, where they believe in karma and reincarnation, where they find that your actions in the now determine your future, and then both in this life and the next. So you want to put the stuff out there. And this kind of feeds into the idea, like Braden had mentioned earlier, their kind of big thing is they have a lot of, they do a lot of prayer, like group prayer, mantra chanting, and a lot of other kind of what they call spiritual practices to kind of direct positive energy into the world in various ways, and kind of try to channel it into things that that they allege is like healing or fighting natural disasters.
Nothing wrong with that.
I can get on board. I can get on board with that. Like, the energy that you put into this world, when you leave this world, that's the energy you're going to leave as. So it's like, okay, all right. Like, you tell me that, I can
good model to live by.
Right. But my thing is, I'm like, you're starting to slip. I start to question everything when you're saying we're saving these natural disasters, because I'm like, motherfuckers, did you see the fires we're having?
Buddy,
you know what I mean? Like,
listen, nobody's perfect.
Right? Is it because there's not enough of us? Is that why there's not enough of us?
Well, I'll tell you what. Have you looked at these guys? Or have you looked at this guy's YouTube account? Like, they don't have a lot of followers. All right. So I'm thinking these chants are not going herd.
Yeah.
All right. It's been slipping lately.
So King himself, or Dr. King, perhaps.
Yeah, Dan, come on.
Sorry, Dr. King.
You of all people, you make us refer to you as Maester, and you're going to call him Mr. King. It's Dr. King.
Dr. King. Dr. Mr. King.
Yeah.
He's actually claimed to have personally
his name's just like Derek Ryan George King. Dude, if those were my initials, I would 100% say I am Doctor. They're like, Doctor, and I'm like, yeah, it's Derek Ryan Renner. I'm Dr. Renner. Thank you. So you shouldn't.
He has claimed to personally have channeled messages from the Cosmic Masters, and then worked with them to have engaged in different spiritual missions, and that these these missions have included like where he has channeled spiritual energy into certain places, like specific areas of the earth, like where it was needed most is where they had to put it. I guess they had to move it into.
This whole thing started, if I'm not mistaken, as he was driving his cab, because he was a cab driver, and he just got a message from the Cosmic Masters being like, you are the chosen one. You are going to give our spoken word to the people. Right? You are going to give our holy commandments. But instead of a burning bush, it was a burning radio station or something.
This is fucking drunken bum in the back seat. Being like, listen, your first mission is you're going to give me a ride for free.
Dude, that's so funny. Could you imagine you just like walking the street, you get a homeless guy like, oh my God, I'm speaking to you. You're the chosen one. You're the chosen one. You're like, all right.
Sweet.
I guess I am.
This guy told me some cool stuff about the Cosmic Masters. I'm in. All right, let's do this.
Oh, dude, that's way better. He just like, honestly, we're changing that. He got that from a fair. That was crazy.
Okay, let's edit the Wikipedia input.
In their doctrine, King is actually referred to by many times. He wears many hats within the religion, because he is referred to as the author, inventor, yogi, and Aquarian master. Also, what is this?
Like Aquarian master,
prophet, psychic,
ride horses. Like what?
Yeah. Prophet, psychic, spiritual healer, spiritual leader, teacher, yogi, and Aquarian master. Like all of those things is apparently he's busy. He's a busy guy.
I did see one interview where someone was interviewing him, and before they're talking to like one of his subjects, they're like, okay, what should I call him? For the same reason, because he has so many different titles. I don't want to offend. I want to make sure I'm calling the right thing. And the girl goes, oh, you can call him George. That's his name. So this guy goes, George, it's nice to meet you. And he goes, please, Dr. King. And I was like, that's all right. You know what though? I like that guy. I was like, you know what? Big time people like that is funny. That's funny. Because he's
you don't get to rise to the top of your fucking cult if you're not going to be big time people.
That's a power move. Move. You tell your people, yeah, I'm easy. Tell them to call me whatever. Then when you come and then you correct them, that's a power move. That's the move. That's the move of a metaphysician. Right?
So yeah, like also central to this religion, like we said. So spiritual energy is a big thing. According to them, Earth actually passes through streams like different at various times throughout the year. Through its a rotation around the sun. It passes through different streams of highly
Allegedly.
charged spiritual energy. So I guess spiritual energy has different levels according to them. And then
Very yoga inspired, hey?
Yeah.
Like just the fucking powers and the vibes and come on, man.
Yeah, and so whenever we pass through those, they celebrate these instances where we pass through those, and that's when their spiritual efforts are more potent. That's when that's when they want to be able to when the lines intersect. That's when you're going to be able to prevent the most disasters, I guess.
Oh, are those ley lines?
So it's been so you're saying it's been a bad little while. Right?
I guess we've been bereft of some spiritual pushes in recent years. Looks like.
I'll be honest with you, like this definitely, like out of all, not even just alien religions, out of like the majority of religions I know, this seems like one of the better ones.
This seems one of the going
like,
through. It's like
this
one
is
of the
the
more
green
benign,
thumb. Like this is the
yeah.
fucking. This is the hippie version of the alien religions.
It's definitely as far like reading into it. It's like mostly positive stuff. Like the Cosmic Masters, and we'll find this with a lot of them. But like the Cosmic Master stuff, it's kind of like they all preach just peace, love, help your fellow humans.
What's the Cosmic Master's stance on substance use? Are you drinking or smoking? Are you out? Like, is it straight edge, or can you have a little fun? Do they drink wine?
They probably do.
But this kind of wine they squish up with
Jesus was a Cosmic Master and he turned water into wine.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Jesus loved drinking.
Yeah, he's a party dude. This is water into wine. So I mean, yeah.
Listen, I'm buying in so far. Like as long as this guy doesn't want to fuck my wife or make me put on a tracksuit and drink some shit, like, we're gonna be okay. Like, we're doing okay.
Listen, nothing wrong with tracksuits.
Nothing wrong.
Right? I can get down with I can
100 all the
part
time.
of the thing that I look for too is I'm like, all right, what are we wearing in this religion? Like, what am I wearing?
This one, it's Lululemons for sure.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
I like it.
sure.
I like it. Right? I can get down with that. It's pretty comfortable. One of the things is for me is like when I'm sitting there and I remember when I was reading it, like, he's a taxi driver, and then he got this cosmic call from the Cosmic Masters, and I was like, pfft, that's what I did. And then I was like, wait a minute, Braden, come on, you're being. There's a huge majority of people that believe in other religions where people have got a calling. So why can I discredit this person who said they've got a calling? Because, like then I'd have to be like Moses was lying. Obviously, right? You know what I mean? So it's like this guy could just be like a Moses of today, right? Like if I'm to believe that happened, maybe the 10 Commandments came from the Cosmic Masters, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you talked about the burning bush earlier. Like this, when did this come in? This came in the 60s?
Mid 50s.
Mid 50s, like everything's cement and shit. Where are you going to find a bush?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got to go hiking. So obviously he's driving his cab. Someone starts talking to him. What happens if, somebody gets a calling now? It's probably going to be from your cell phone.
It's a burning ashtray, right?
Yeah.
Spoke to him.
Yeah. And that's something I also found interesting about a lot of these. A lot of these like are 50s, 60s, 70s. Like they're all recent religions. Because none of these go back that far. At the height of like UFO mania or whatever you want to call it, like at that point when it was still kind of young. And this one, I mean, like I said, in the mid 1950s, even the Ashtar Command stuff, like the George Van Tassel stuff, always you find that a lot of these religions are always like in the early days are all about like, peace, love, enlightenment through prayer, meditation, all these kinds of things.
Well, you're not going to sign people up to kill themselves if you just lead with that.
You got to draw them in.
Yeah.
Got to get them in there.
Well, speaking
you
of
got to bring them in with
It's
puppies
funny.
and candy.
You know what the one interesting thing that I found about all these religions, not to spoil anything on the other ones, but the bait, like all these religions all have a base in existing religion, right? Like none of this shit starts from the ground up. Like none of this comes out of fucking nowhere. Like it's always, you got Jesus and he's a half alien and you got, right? Like, and then it's like you have a basis of this one, you lay the foundation of Christianity, then you sprinkle on a little bit of science fiction. Right. Oh, I saw that in a TV show. You can sprinkle a little bit of that, and then you just water it, and we're to see where it goes.
Little bit of Eastern tradition, kind of like Eastern thinking in there, like, and then
But it's also interesting.
Bake it 420 for so long.
Yeah, like
it's also interesting to me, like that they do that because I'm like, it's also for me. I'm like, like, how does anyone, like, it's like if you were to say this now to a religious person who, like, say believes in Christianity, you're like, what leg do you have to stand on to be like, there's no way? You know what I mean? I'm like, well, if this could happen, I'm like, maybe, like, you know what I mean? Like, who's to say that this guy's not a continuation of what you're already believing in? But you can't ixnay him. You should respect his beliefs, and you should hedge your bets and join him as well. Right?
You're speaking to people who literally believe in the same person too, but this is a little different, and that's blasphemy. Like, oh, you like God, but Jesus ain't real.
Hey, dude,
like none of this shit makes any. Like, they're all so similar.
Do like Jehovah's Witness and like other fucking Christians like beef? Like, or are they all like down with each other?
You literally get told that the other religions are blasphemy. The other religions, like, if you believe
fucking flashing gang signs across the street.
I mean, that's how it used to be.
Well, dude, it's so, and like that's so weird because all those branches, there's like this 5 or 6 main ones. They all kind of believe the same stuff, but you can't. But you can't like Andrew said, you can't hedge your bets. You can't be like, well, I'm also this, and this. It's always, well, I'm Catholic or I'm this. I think I like the hedging the bets of religion. I think you should join 3 or 4 and be allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, you should cast a wide net.
You gotta be.
I won't rule it out.
You gotta be like Benny in The Mummy, and you're pulling out all your little things, like all this. Exactly. Sorry, David. It's a cross.
That's awesome.
My newest.
That's such a good scene. That's such a good scene.
Know all the incantations for each one.
Like each one, each prayer in each language. Like, I gotta nail them all. One worked. It worked for him.
Until the end.
Until the end.
Yeah. Spoiler. Come on.
But yeah, so some of the religions, like the Theorist Society, are you could probably consider like benign. They do have a lot of their stuff, but they're not things that are, you know, very questionable. Unlike some other religions, so maybe the next one is not exactly for us, but I think a lot of people will recognize.
Don't tell me what to believe.
I'm sorry.
I will make up my own mind.
But one of the more infamous religions is, and most people will recognize the name, the Heaven's Gate cult or religion. There's probably, I don't think there's any other ones that are probably as recognized as this one because of the tragic end to it. But originally the Heaven's Gate cult, if you're not aware, I don't know who. Maybe there are people who are aware of it, but because it was kind of a while ago. But this specific one was founded by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles in the 1970s.
This fucking guy, man. This fucking guy. Dan's giving a nice, elaborate, detailed explanation of fucking hell's. And
you've been burping every 5 minutes
into the mouth, the mic. No, it doesn't even fucking turn his mouth. Just
he's been.
I'm
ripping
so
him.
concerned with the mic etiquette. That's why I'm so concerned. I'm like, fist got to be fist away. Don't want to get chewed up by.
No, because everybody keeps saying I can't hear Braden breathing into the mic anymore. And they're like, I know.
You've derailed my whole thought with this.
With Braden's like, I have to put the mic directly into my mouth.
I just watched it happen, and my brain just shut off. I was like, no, this is impossible.
If it was a normal sounding burp, it wouldn't be so
wet, flappy,
aggressive.
It's the description is flappy burps.
They're Zoidbergs.
They're
Zoidbergs. It's disgusting.
I don't know. You know what's funny? I asked my doctor about that because I was like, my burps changed. They changed from like when I was a kid to like growing up, and then I hit like early 20s, and my burps flipped. I get these like sometimes like velociraptor
it's those fucking
burps.
jowls you got.
That's what he said. He's like, "You're fat, buddy."
I diagnosed you with fat.
He took out his little pointer stick, chewed it, and stretched it out, and then he just poked me in the gut. He's like, "Look at this. Look at this. Come on." That's why.
Okay, Dan, please continue.
So originally Heaven's Gate, the ideas that Applewhite and Nettles kind of put together is they like Andrew previously mentioned is kind of like a smashing together of both Christianity, New Age philosophy, popular science fiction, and all of those kinds of ideas.
Star Trek was literally a part of their religion.
Yeah.
They're like, it was a documentary.
Which is like, I mean, people, I'm pretty sure there are people who have pulled, I mean, if you can, Jedi, I think it was a Jediism in Australia is like an officially recognized religion. Like you can probably pull religions from, I would guarantee you could find people with that as a recognized religion, like fucking Church of Romulan or something. I don't know.
Buddy, there's a Church of the Latter-day Dude that's based on Dudism, which is based off the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Fucking
How do I know?
Pastafarians.
Because
You're anointed.
I'm anointed. I'm an anointed Dudist priest.
Yeah.
This is true.
People,
He has a,
I don't think
he
I've
has
ever
a subscription.
talked about that on the podcast. Yeah, I got ordained.
Yeah, we definitely mentioned it because I brought up the fact that you looked exactly like Paul Bearer when you did your.
that's right.
Got our buddy. Yeah, and you were not happy about it.
Do you take him for his wife?
So during their careers as leaders of the Heaven's Gate cult, like Applewhite Nettles became known as Doe and T, is what the names that they take, and then
the best part about this is so they've changed their names, and then all their followers, they had to trim their names down to the first 3 letters of their name, and then add ODY. So I'd be Andody,
nice.
Zelody,
Zelody, Dandy, Danody, Brayody. Yeah.
Wait, the first 2
I love
letters?
it.
The first.
No, sorry, the first 3 letters.
Oh, okay, Danody. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, Danody.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
I fucking love that
I
shit.
like gives everyone a nice uniform structure.
Andody,
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, that was the big thing with them, right? I don't think I'm skipping too far ahead, but they really wanted to desexualize people. They're big on like androgynous, right? Like they want you to be like somewhat like asexual.
Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah,
like, so everybody's
I'm constantly desexualizing myself all the time.
Like, yeah, with those fucking burps.
You
So
with those
like everybody's got the
glasses.
same haircuts. Everybody's
Actually,
wearing the
listen,
fucking.
you're looking good with those.
Okay, listen.
Look at those eyebrows. He's raising them.
When
extra
I'm
high.
saying like these guys want to be fucking, they want to be desexualized. They took it to the furthest limit possible and fucking got castrated.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally went and got fucking castrated.
Yeah. Celibacy was a
Full
big
snip,
part of it.
like just cut them off.
Okay, so also,
Not that there's anything wrong with
Dan,
that.
I'm
all right?
I'm fucking you over here, buddy.
Go
but
for it. I was
because you're skipping over a few things.
We're gonna get
I think
there.
it's super important. Okay, so our fucking buddy here, Mr. Applebottom Jeans,
Yep.
the guy that created the place.
Are you talking about Apple Diddy?
No, Dodie or Doe.
No, yeah.
Talking about Doe, Mr. Applebottoms. So a little backstory on him. He was a aspiring Broadway actor, singer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, kind of fucking floundered
Sucked.
a bit. So he ended up going teaching at a, so the little bit of blurred lines here. We're not sure if it's a high school or if it was a college. I've heard differentiating backstories, but either way, sounds like married guy, got kids. Sounds like he may have dabbled with some unsavory activities with a male student. So if it was a high school, pretty shitty. College, still shitty, but not as shitty, obviously.
Legally shitty.
Here's this. I'll say this. It's shitty either way. It's one way.
I think so.
Way
I
worse.
said less shitty.
It's less shitty.
Yeah.
It's a weird one because you're like, what's with the kid? High school?
If it's the kids, it's super shitty.
Big, super shitty. But the other
Little
way,
less
it's just-
shitty.
you still have power over someone. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's just fucking
Unprofessional.
weird. It's a weird dynamic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, on the lowest thing, it's unprofessional. Like at the
I
very
will
least.
tell you what.
Not that
it's
there's
still
anything wrong with fucking your teacher for good
substantially
grades.
less shitty.
I don't want to say that. I
You
don't
wanna
want to
do
get
that?
anyone mad. Yeah. If your
It's your own
teacher's
decision.
If you're having sex with your teacher to get good grades, good on you. I would do the same thing if any of my teachers offered it.
If any of your teachers would have you, ever.
What was that prick's name in biology?
Oh, it's big fat.
Do you remember
Is he a
it?
big guy?
No, that little dweeb.
Oh,
He was a biology.
Start with
no,
W?
chemistry.
W.
Chemistry
Yeah.
teacher.
I know. Williamson.
Yeah, Williamson.
If you're listening,
What a dick
Williamson.
He was. Yeah,
Yeah, if you're listening, Braden would have fucked you in high school if you got better grades. Fuck.
So where are you going with this story?
That's what I don't know. I was getting ready for you just to talk about how you'd suck Mr. Williams' dick to get a
You
better
remember how I
grade.
got an A plus in grade 11 chemistry?
Oh, so fucked up.
You really just teed yourself up there for no
The
reason.
worst part is he probably
derailed,
failed you
dude. I
anyway.
got
No reason.
derailed.
No reason.
This blowjob's an F. Oh Oh God. Well, no, I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about my teachers, and I just remembered that one fucking guy I hated. But I didn't think of that. My train of thought.
That one fucking night after class when he fucking
Listen,
spent a
I
little
was
time
coming in.
after
I was
for extra
showing
credit.
like
What are you drinking? What are you drinking
accepting.
over there? You're sipping on something.
Some vodka Pepsi.
He's deep throating a fucking bottle thinking about Mr. Williams. Fucking gross.
Oh, fuck.
So where I was going with that anyways, diddled the student either way. Hopefully it was an older one. Either.
Yeah.
So
Smooth. Just gotta keep going.
we're not sure exactly, but it sounds like because his parents were super religious. Sounds like he might have went to either a mental asylum, or went for conversion therapy. We don't know for sure. But when he went there, that's when he met T, right? Which is literally, if it was a mental asylum, it's like, this is fucking Joker and Harley Quinn, buddy.
Yeah.
This is the starting of a villain backstory, 100%.
This is the Joker part two.
I mean, it was.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I mean.
It
Like,
is
this
like
is-
a
it's
real life
literally like-
villain story, pretty much.
That's what I mean. Like, this is like,
crazy.
yeah, man.
So Doe and T, or Apple White Nettle, they formed this religion, and it basically telling them, once they started gathering followers, I think one of their first
She
followers
was his therapist, is what I was getting at.
Right.
That's what, Harley.
One of the when they started like getting followers, they basically like came up with the idea that the human bodies are merely vehicles, which is not that different an idea, but it's like you could move your soul from outside, and you can transcend from your fleshly prison or whatever.
Like initially they didn't really have initially he was kind of swore he told everybody that the person that inhabited his vessel was the same one that inhabited Jesus's vessel.
Right.
But they didn't basically get too drastic until T died. Right? Because they're like, listen, we're the chosen ones. We're the masters of the universe too. We're the good ones. We're getting summoned up to the big spaceship upstate. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then she died of cancer.
Yeah.
Which kind of fucking threw their entire religion. And this is even before they were Heaven's Gate, did you know what their original name was for this fucking cult? Which is phenomenal.
No.
The Total Overcomers Anonymous. What the fuck is this? You can't market that, man.
Overcomers, eh?
The Total Overcomers Anonymous.
The total overcomers. There's a lot of, is that like, it's a double, like total over
Toa?
comer.
Overcomer.
Total
Anonymous.
Overcomers.
Well, if you're getting
they're the
castrated,
total
you're not
overcomers.
overcoming anything.
Yes, I mean, it depends how you put the fucking emphasis
Undercomer.
on that. On those
Yeah,
words.
you're overcoming your sexual urges.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a shift in there somewhere where it happens. Like him and Apple White Nettles, like they both believed that they were the two witnesses that were described in the book of Revelation. Like they were going to be the witnesses to the end times. That was their whole like eschatology kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, the end times are coming. Like, and the earth is going to be cleansed or recycled, and that in order to survive, you're going to have to project your soul out of your body and then like come back and then inherit the earth essentially. So when they started gathering all these followers, and they eventually they kind of skyrocketed to prominence when they had a what was it? It was like they had one member was like she left her family, disappeared, and then she was on like 60. It was like 60 Minutes or something, and it was like a whole deal, or Dateline, and then they had found her and stuff. But like every the King of the Hill episode, the whole the Leader episode of fucking Simpsons and stuff like that. All of that is like Heaven's Gate. Like all of that is.
Well, have you seen their videos? Have you seen their recruitment videos on YouTube and their initiation videos that they have?
Yeah, those are all on there.
Their goodbye videos, they're all over YouTube. And you will find out that Mr. Apple, that motherfucker does not blink.
It's creepy.
Not once. He's got those crazy eyes that just pierce you. See if you can find a picture of
Steve
himself.
Buscemi's.
Oh, but worse. Way worse.
They're
looks through your soul.
those are like zealots' eyes. They're like,
we're talking Rasputin eyes.
Yeah.
Like fucking stare right through you. And the other thing that I love about this is the fact that, so they're going for that androgynous look, right? Like they want to be completely asexual.
Yeah.
And then he gets castrated, goes full into it. And then he just slowly ends up looking like a giant ball sack. Exactly. That's the best.
Were they performing that themselves? Like they're just like at home castration kind of things?
Okay, so one of them did and almost died. So then they realized like, oh fuck. So then they went and got it done like professionally. I think they went to Mexico or something.
This is the Google search results for
Look at those eyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at the eyes.
Yeah.
They pierce your soul.
They're something else, man.
Fervent. They're fervent eyes, like just looking at you.
Yeah.
So surprised, just nonstop.
A couple of those, I've had those looks numerous times right before I shit my pants.
Yeah, we saw it earlier.
So apparently they were actually pretty proficient in just earning money for the cult itself or for the society because like one of their big things was web design services and apparently they were really good at it. Like they were actually pretty good at it. And it's like it was kind of nuts like going through and being like companies would hire them out to like design websites and stuff and they'd be like yeah. They were really good and it's just like so the whole it's like they were prominent, like people knew about them, but they didn't truly reach like infamous status until like I guess Applewhite started kind of preaching that the Hale-Bopp comet that was coming.
So this is, sorry to interrupt again, Dan, but this big shift happens after T dies, right? Like that's what. So then when this comet's coming, it like the whole philosophy has changed now. Like it's basically they've been waiting for the spaceship to come and he's predicted that it's coming and it hasn't come, you know what I mean? About 5 or 6 different times. And then she died and then he kind of used that to his advantage.
To be like, she's up there already. So we gotta, So he kind of pushed on this and the group started to, they put up this belief that there was an actual extraterrestrial spacecraft trailing the comet, like within its tail. Like you wouldn't be able to see it if you look at the comet, but it's like, it's in there. It's in there. And this spacecraft was supposed to be like their vessel for their souls. Like their souls were going to go up into like the holding within there and then, come back to Earth like we previously mentioned. So on March 1997, 39 members of the cult, including Applewhite, participated in a mass suicide in San Diego. And they believed that this act was going to allow them to leave their physical shells, their mortal bodies, and then ascend to that spacecraft.
I wonder if they get up there, do they regrow their balls? Be like, oh, we've got to do it all over again.
It's like, no, they're gone now. It's like, we gotta go back and get them.
So they spiked applesauce with phenobarbital and then drank a bunch of vodka and then they basically asphyxiated themselves, right, Dad?
So like that lethal combination together and then they all died. Now there are a lot of details that come out after the things that became kind of, certain things became synonymous with them. So they had the black matching tracksuits, was one of them.
The Zoltan kind of look, right?
Yeah.
Zoltan.
It's like any of those kind of.
I like the look. You know what I mean? Like that's what's hard for me because I'm like, I like the look. I think this would be cool. Next time we all go for a convention, we should dress as Heaven Gate.
Well, listen, it's going to be hard though because listen, Nike discontinued the shoes that they wore.
Yeah. There's a very classic.
He got them.
Yeah,
it's Nike Decades. Yeah. They're discontinued. So like I was looking on eBay. Pairs are going for like $6,000.
Yeah. There's a classic photo. There's a classic photo of like one of the members. Like they have the cover over them, like the white cover body bag cover over them, and just the Nike Decades are like sticking out. And Nike, like when the information came out and that photo started circulating, like Nike like discontinued those specific shoes very quickly. And so you can only find those shoes.
Why discontinue them?
Because you ain't just doing anything. You're dead.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
By discontinuing,
just do it. Eat your applesauce. Apparently, he was a big Nike guy. This isn't a joke. Huge Nike guy. Everything they wore was always Nike. So they joked around the cult that they would say, just dough it.
Just dough it.
That's legit. Like one of the old followers that was talking about on an interview I watched.
Now, the thing is, I'm like, by Nike discontinuing it, you've driven like this shoe into like cult status, right? Like you've 100% driven up the price of this shoe. There's no way if you just continue making these shoes, they have the same notoriety that they do now.
Why does it matter? Doesn't
Well,
matter.
I'm just saying,
Like,
I think they
wanted
did
to
this on
distance
purpose to
themselves.
profit from it.
Oh, maybe.
You will never distance yourself from this event. Ever. They wore Nike shoes. The guy loved Nike. So we had nothing to do with it.
You have to make some type of gesture.
I'd be like, Nike, everyone
Your
loves
shoes
Nike.
are all over these fucking dead bodies. All of a sudden, parents are gonna be like, well, these fucking satanic shoes.
Yep.
My
Start
kid bought
to
my
move.
kid
Probably more of
Nikes.
it was probably like a PR move. They're like, we got to get rid of those shoes. Like we can't.
100%.
No way.
If we're gonna in the long run, we don't want to be associated with that, so we're gonna discontinue those shoes. Even though you kind of, well, I guess, yeah,
Mind you, every single time these people are talking about, we talk about Nike.
yeah.
I guarantee it. Every time, everything you look up, talk about Nike.
And
They
like,
even call them the Heaven's. Now they're called the 1993 Heaven's Gate Decade Shoe.
Yep, that's what they're referred to as. Just to make sure that everybody knows what they are. So this specific cult, which is interesting, this kind of has the honor of being one of the first kind of emerging like religions on the internet, because this was early internet days. This was still like freaking Space Jam website days, where
Were they
you
black
had
or white? The shoe. Sorry.
black,
Black.
yeah, black with white swoosh on the side, I believe.
The white swoosh. Yeah. Those ones are expensive.
But this kind of kicked into high gear the discussion of like how the internet played a role, and because they used a lot of like their web design and their kind of their outlet of getting their teachings out there was like their main outlet was like on the internet to spread their teachings and these stuff to get the people to join their thing. And I believe like Heaven's Gate, like there are still some members, active members of
I think so.
the cult.
Yeah.
There are people who didn't participate
like,
in the suicide.
Okay, if you take out the like, hey, let's kill ourselves aspect of it and the comet that was coming, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying that they're not on some spaceship somewhere. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
They could be up there.
What I'm saying is if you look at everything else, their idea of like this human body is just a vessel for now. Like there's also something else. I'm like, that's basically a lot of the other religions, right? They're not saying anything new here, right? So if like, I'm just saying like when you look at this,
I mean, a lot of the leaders aren't committing mass murder.
Yeah.
Which is good, but
Well,
You know
yeah,
who
none
else
of it's
has those
new
fucking eyes? What's that
because
one- what's that-
it's just the
What's that one
meshmashing of all the
crazy
other ones.
fucking pastor?
He's talking about the Jonestown guy,
No, the Christian guy who's the big church guy,
the Pope.
like the big epic church. He's mega church guy.
Oh, like the stadium church guy.
He's got like 15 jets or whatever. He's talking about.
Yeah, he's just fucking crazy, like really creepy looking.
oh,
You know what I'm talking
Jesus,
about? He's got those eyes.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, it's gonna bother me.
This guy.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
Joel Osteen. Yeah, Joel Osteen. Basically the fucking Gemstone family in real life.
Yeah.
Uncle Baby Billy right there.
So we have those two, and specifically one of the big things about Heaven's Gate we said before is like celibacy was the big thing. Like it's very strict routines and celibacy.
No
like
banging.
So
number one.
let's
number
rule
two.
that one out. Sounds gone.
Yeah,
Terrible.
I'm out.
Ixnade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to spin, but I don't necessarily want to sin.
Well-
No, you want to sin, you don't want to spin. Well,
No. I'm telling you, it shouldn't be a sin. I want to be part of a religion that's sex positive.
Sex positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So have I?
So it shouldn't be a sin.
Have I got one for you?
Yeah.
And we could probably come back after the break.
all right.
We're going to grab a quick beer. We're going to be right back.
We're back. Fucking Andrew pushing out. He's got glasses. Nerd. It's a fucking.
well, make it happen.
Talking real
I
tough
expect
for
the
a
best
fucking
now.
nerd.
I fucking expect the best.
Because he
Buddy,
knows he can't
fucking-
hit him because he has glasses.
Yeah, sure.
I'll eat your lunch,
Yeah.
pal. You want fucking. You want none of this.
So
Keep bullying me. I'm going to come over to your house and turn on the lights. All right?
Don't you
motherfucker? Yeah. Maybe put on a fan and we'll just watch the wisps.
Jealousy's not a good look on you.
Buddy, hey, flick the lights on. I can't hide these glasses.
So if you're talking about so we've mentioned kind of the two sides.
Look down for just 1 second. Just 1 sec.
I am looking
Show
down.
the world. Look, put your head down.
Huh?
Just put your head down for a sec. Just sneeze. The lights off.
Huh? The lights? What do you
Grim
mean?
days, buddy.
You just have to dye your scalp and you'll be golden.
Yeah, just spray paint.
What are you
it.
talking
You
about?
could do that. Or get that sprinkle stuff. Or just shave your fucking head.
No, leave it. Let it grow as thin as you possibly can and as long as you possibly can. Just fucking go.
Just do the Baron Corbin, please.
Yeah.
Just go full Baron Corbin.
Not looking good.
Oh, it's gone. It's just lost a puddle. I just saw it fall. Stop touching it. Stop.
I can do some good, cool bangs though.
Yeah, you kind of look like Chris Gaines.
There you go. Fantastic.
I think that's a good look too.
It's greasy.
Yeah, you look like Chris Gaines.
So we've kind of covered the two sides of the spectrum here. You have like the very benign Theorist society, but benign and beneficial the Theorist society, and then you have those of the extreme. They're going all the way to just the far as suicide, Heaven's Gate. But if you're trying to find somewhere maybe kind of towards the middle, maybe a little bit on the towards the.
You're looking for something that's just right. You're looking for the Goldilocks of the UFO.
Well, if you're looking for something a little bit more, it's got the positivity.
Something a little bit more sexy.
Yeah, it's got the positivity of
more
the
sexy.
Theorist society, and then but it also does not have the celibacy and castration of Heaven's Gate society.
It's actually got the opposite.
Yeah. So, put those two together. Sounds like a pretty good fit. Then you would be talking about realism. Now, realism is a religion that was founded by one Claude Vorlon.
You got to put a little bit more peanut butter.
Vorlon.
A little more
Vorlon.
peanut butter in your mouth. Vorlon.
Voleon.
Who later changed his name to, as the eponymous Rail. It is, his religion. So he is
He's a railer. Do a lot of railing.
in the 1970s. He became Rail. And that's probably when he got his sick ass fucking outfit. And then he took that name. If you look him up, like is the first thing you think. I said when you pull up his pictures, number one, the hair is outstanding. When he had like original hairstyle, outstanding.
Did you see him with the man bun though?
Yeah, I seen him with the man bun, but like the previous
Do you
one
know
was
why
like
he's got a
the
man bun?
Gallagher fucking thing going on.
He's got a man bun because he says it's an antenna to talk to the
That
fucking
makes
aliens.
sense.
Yeah.
Right? So finally we have a reason for man buns.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. That's all where the spiritual energy enters in through the back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Through the bun.
I get it. Yeah. But like his
Why
suit,
the fuck wasn't Mr. Conspiracy enlightened for all those years?
Maybe he was this whole
Maybe
time.
he was.
his whole suit, like his white suit, which he still wears to like this day. Like he's had like various like little variations on the style, but it is straight up like I said when you look at it, he looks like a nicer version of General Zod. Like he's
I honestly feel like this is where Aldous Snow got his inspiration from.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're just like, oh wow. If you're like looking at the idea or looking for like the archetype of like charismatic kind of leader guy, like this guy is like the front man for a religion. Claude here, Rail.
well, it's almost like he fucking like saw things happening in front of him. Was like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage.
Yeah, and go all in. Just go as far as he can go with this thing.
Because my favorite part about this guy is he basically follows the template for cult leader. How many of these dudes used to be musicians? Like Koresh, fucking
Hey, listen.
Apple Bottom. You got fucking
Zell's one failed album away.
I feel like some of those.
buddy Manson. You got Manson.
I
You
like
got
it.
Tony Alamo. Like all these guys used to be musicians.
You know what? I could see Cass. As a cult leader. I'm just gonna
This
say
guy,
that.
even Rail,
can see
fucking
it.
Rail had hit songs on the radio.
He's gonna have his little mini
literally.
win cult, right?
Everyone wears bowler hats.
Yeah.
Rael claims that he had an encounter with an extraterrestrial being on the French countryside where he was given a series of messages about the origins of life on Earth, and that we were created by this race, or created or modified by this race of beings known as the Elohim. And he's, it's very ancient astronaut stuff, where it's like, yes,
Sexy.
the humans were created from, it's very Anunnaki-ish stuff kind of meshed in there.
Yeah, but these ones had Annie knockers. These are some sexy fucking aliens.
So I mean, we can get to like realism is a very sex positive cult. Like it is a cult religion where it is like it's very encouraged. Cult. Like it's very that's one of the things that's often remarked about it, is that it kind of posits itself as a very like sexually liberated type of religion.
I mean, it all sounds good until you find out the guy had a child bride. That kind of takes away from it a little bit for me.
But college or high school?
High school. 15 or 16. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was fine for Seinfeld. We forgave him.
That's true.
Right?
Did we?
I don't know.
I think it was just just
never forgave the
forgotten
guy.
more than forgave. It was kind of vanished.
Yeah. So nobody talks about it. It's just like, I don't remember. Rael, as the personality of Rael, like Claude has led quite an interesting like life through like the Raelism stuff. Like he's had just like our buddy like our buddy George King, he wears many hats as Rael.
Fuck's sakes.
Huh?
Doctor.
What? I'm saying doctor.
Oh yeah, doctor. Yeah.
Jesus.
Doctor.
Come on,
you
put
of
some
all
respect
people to be
on
just
it.
throwing around disrespect.
Dr.
Like
George King.
Thanks.
Well, I have to. Then I might have to distinguish him between like Martin Luther King and him.
No, just Dr.
Wait,
King's
Dr.
fine.
George.
Yeah. Everyone knows who you're referring to, Dan.
Okay. Do they? They were both visionaries, both, quality. I don't know. Okay.
The one true Dr. King.
One true Dr. King. So, for example, in 1994, there was a group of like wealthy Japanese Raelians. So Raelism is like a very international, is picked up fairly quickly.
Huge in Japan.
Yeah.
Huge.
I
in
mean,
Japan.
if you're a musical artist and you have like a hit song at least one time, where do you go? Japan. Duh. Like,
Well,
Of course.
See, this is where Zell's going, because Lucky Monkey's got China.
No, but India.
India.
One of our music videos is for some reason blew up in India. 1 million downloads.
Nice. All right.
More than anything else we've ever done, ever. And check the analytics. It's on like a weird stripper YouTube playlist that's popular in India and Indonesia.
Oh.
And the only stripper in the video may be a little bit of male cross-dressing. That's it.
Oh.
It got included on the list though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on there.
That's okay.
It's got the plays.
Some weird segment of that population has got a weird kink for men with fake boobs. And that was Dylan in the video. He's famous in India. Famous.
No, I'm big in India. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, you can say that. So in 1994, a group of Japanese Raelians pretty much got together and they rented a race car that they kind of showed off to Rael. And then what they wanted was that they wanted him to race it in order to like generate publicity for the movement. And Rael, apparently Rael had a preoccupation with like racing cars. Like he wanted to be a race car driver before.
Growing up, he always wanted to be a race car driver. He became a musician in hopes of making it big so he could eventually buy a race car. So once he finished his career as a singer-songwriter, unfortunately, his second album, debut album, got a couple songs on the hit radio. Second album didn't do so well, floundered. He ended up creating a magazine called Autopop, which was a race-inspired magazine where he went around, test drove cars, made whatever, advertised great. It actually was doing pretty well until 1973. I guess there was a massive oil shortage in France in 73. So they actually suspended all race, all driving, race, everything for that year. So his fucking magazine went bankrupt. So 2 strikes so far for Rail, unfortunately. But then he moved on to the fucking.
He nailed it. He got it.
Third time's a charm. Or, I mean, the aliens talked.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
This is the same trajectory as Zell. I can't believe you guys don't see this.
This is exactly what's happening to him.
He's got Lucky Monkey, right? They're not, they get popular, but not blown up.
You can get your message from the Elohim tomorrow. Yeah.
They go out the down, and next thing, he's a cult leader in a sex positive cult.
Yeah.
Right?
$50 a month subscription
in a
fee.
sex positive vampire cult, right?
Hey,
That's what's happening in India.
We're sex positive. We're sex positive.
India, Indonesia.
The cults fanging. The cults. We already have the cults fanging and banging.
Fanging and banging.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. So he's had tons of like this stuff, but like so if we're going back to like the actual like the origins of like what they say this religion or their messages were communicated to him is that life on Earth was created by these advanced extraterrestrial beings, the Elohim, and these beings were mistaken for gods in ancient times. So it's very Zechariah Sitchin-ish, and all of those.
Which she was a big fan of.
So now, one of the other things that's interesting now, I remember realism. Like back when I was in high school, because this was when like they made these big announcements about cloning, because realism is really big on cloning. They kind of posited as a means to achieve eternal life, and that they believe that through advanced
how else are you gonna
cloning
fuck
techniques,
yourself?
I mean, yeah, like they believe that advancing cloning techniques so far, it will be possible to kind of transfer your own consciousness into a new body. Very Emperor Palpatine-ish. Somehow he came back. And so in 2002, and I remember this being in the news and stuff, there was a whole big thing about this Raelian associate company called Clonade, which claimed to have produced the first human clone.
The number 1 sports drink.
Yes.
That also clones you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, a million more in production. It's like, so they made these claims like public, and they came out and they said that they have produced like a human clone, a female clone, and they named her Eve, was what they named. And then like there was a whole bunch like I don't know, I call it the Clonade saga when I was like researching it, and I was like, we'll probably get into it on a different thing, but it's like they said that they produced a clone, and not even one. Like after that one, they made another announcement. They made several
of a boy, like a little boy that had passed away.
Right? Yeah.
After birth, they cloned him.
Yeah, there was one that it's like I think it was a Japanese, like it was a Japanese
little boy
that had passed away, and then the parents had like opted in to have him cloned, and they said that they had made a viable clone of him, and so. So they made a whole bunch of claims that went out there, and they were in the news for like weeks about talking about this, and people trying to get information about these, and they were scientists and things, a whole bunch of like ethical discussions about what was going on, because it's like nobody can figure out whether these claims were verifiable or not. Because they didn't want to. I mean, understandably, it could be like, we don't want to give out the information of the kid because we don't want the parents to like have to deal with all of that, the stuff that's going to go with that. We don't want the kids to be in danger, and that's what their kind of whole excuse for not.
Well, it's just like those kids that don't know they're adopted, right? You don't want this kid to know he's a clone. He's just a normal kid.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to tell Roman he's a clone. Yeah, like you're just my clone, buddy. Clone me.
Yeah. I'm going to put my brain into your body.
Yeah, waiting for you to grow up.
Fuck, what movie was
that? If you don't behave.
Pull the plug.
I remember that. This was so weird. So yeah, despite all of this, like the controversies and things that surround realism, they're kind of like their emphasis is mostly on universal love, world peace, and global cooperation. Like nonviolence is a big part of their thing. And I remember Braden linked this one documentary. Like there's a lot of documentaries and probably good ones about Rail, like following around realism and kind of the stuff that they do. And like Rail has like a bodyguard, I guess. He had a bodyguard, and they asked him like, well, what do you do like as a bodyguard? It's like he's like, because you can't do violence. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, how are you a bodyguard and you can't do any violence? Like, what do you, I don't know. It was just, the guy didn't speak very much English. I think he was actually Japanese. And I think they asked him, like, do you know, like, karate or something? He's like, no. It's like, oh, okay. So, like, yeah.
I liked how they asked the Japanese guy if he knew karate.
They're like, well, do you know any martial arts? Like, what do you do as a bodyguard? Like, I don't, I can't hurt anybody.
Would you like to know some of realism's greatest accomplishments?
100%.
Lay him out.
Yes.
So they actually had an operation, which they deemed Operation Condom, where a pink van called the Condom Mobile would drive around high schools handing out condoms to high school kids.
Sounds good.
And if you could imagine just, a random pink van showing up to your kid's high school and it's an alien sex cult just handing out fucking condoms to your kids. Didn't go over well.
Man, you didn't have to sell me so hard on this.
Well, it gets better because after that, they got a little traction with this. So then they started putting on masturbation seminars.
Okay.
With hopes of one day putting on a worldwide masturbation campaign.
Listen, that's how everyone learned about the stranger.
Hands across America,
That's
boys.
how everyone learned about the stranger.
Well, they're anti-violence. Like, you can't fucking pick up a gun if you got your hands on your dick, right?
You're always,
Like, you got your hands full. You're diddling.
Next month is ATT's inaugural masturbation month.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's...
Did you guys see their logo?
Yeah,
dude, I love their logo. The logo's hilarious because the guy, charismatic leader, and he's like, we need a logo, something edgy, something flashy, something that's gonna spark conversation. What I'm thinking, Star of David, and on top, swastika
in the middle. Right.
Yes, in the middle, directly in the middle.
As far as I will say, like, objectively, like, looking at it, it's a pretty slick comment because, like,
yeah, you would like it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would, Dan. Jesus.
Well, I mean, most people know that the swastika predates. It, of course, predates Nazism. Like, it is a.
Stop trying to defend the swastika, Dan. Just let it.
Dan's always been a big fan of the swastika way before.
Before it was cool, eh?
I mean, I wasn't born before it was cool, but I mean, it was cool before.
Isn't the ancient version of it? Yeah, but it goes the other way. Isn't it faced the other way?
It's associated with Buddhism and Hinduism, like different things. Like, I mean, you look everywhere.
If you go into East Asia, you'll see people tattooed
temples.
with the reverse.
Temples are marked, like temples on maps are marked with swastikas. Like,
and you like when you first go there or travel there, you'll see some of like this, what looks like a swastika, and then you realize it's reversed, and you'll be like, what is that? What the fuck? And then you're like, oh, it's reversed as a symbol for good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like it's a religious.
Jewish.
Yeah, it's a religious. So that controversy popped up pretty quick about having the Star of David and the swastika like integrated into the middle, and so then
peace, right? We got to join these two groups,
right? But then they modified it, and then they made it like. I think that one's pretty cool. It's like they swirled it. There's like a swirl in
a little artistic enhance.
Yeah, and that one's still pretty good. Like, that's still a pretty cool like symbol.
Because you know what's really there. That's why.
Yeah, subliminal.
You see through it.
You know it's there. Right?
But yeah, so they kind of they rebranded their whole thing like after that, kind of like when the stuff started getting traction and people started criticizing. Like, well, we'll just change it a little bit and beep, and then they kind of done
all
that.
All press is good press, baby. Swirl it. We just premiere our new logo. It's just our same logo, just with a slight swirl.
Yeah, just swirl a little bit.
No, just put it in the center of a swastika, right? That'd be pretty cool, won't it? Well, cool, Dan.
A little swastika in the center. Oh, terrible. We got to get listens. We got to get traction.
We got to make the news somehow. All press is good press.
Yeah. We replace that little line. I don't
know. I just thought it's like if you're trying to make a symbol that encompasses the amalgamation of both Western and Eastern beliefs, and like that's kind of what you would do. Like, I feel like it's like, yeah, okay,
you make a new swastika.
You put the stuff in there, and the way it joins, it's all one line. Like, it's all kind of I was like,
it's bold, bold move, bold move.
So you heard,
there's
still time to submit your logos. Let's go.
Right.
Send them our way.
But realism,
We know which one Dan's going to vote for.
Yeah.
slap a swastika on there.
He teed
and I'm
one
all
up
in.
for you.
Got it. Yeah. So realism is pretty big. They say that they've got tens of thousands of members worldwide. So they've got apparently there's a strong following in Canada, and Japan and South Korea.
Well, he's got a temple or something in Montreal, right?
And I think one of their other things is that they're pushing like realism's like one of his things. They want to put like a temple or an embassy in Jerusalem. Like Jerusalem still has a very central, like a central part of their religion.
I'm going to say they didn't go for that.
I mean, they won't let them. Like they're not gonna let.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm going to say they're like, no.
Is it
I don't
purely
think
based on the
they're not
logo?
going to let anybody put anything.
No,
there.
Canada fucking was like, yeah, fucking rights. Give everybody. Do your thing. Just make sure you pay your rent.
And so, so the realism is on this other one's like as far as UFO cults, like that one is it's an alien themed cult where this thing's going on, and so you put on these a lot of their like we said before, very sex positive cults. So it's like some of their get-togethers are they have these sensual meditation seminars and these things, and this is how
That room over there.
He's got his what he calls them, his pink angels, right?
Yeah.
The pink angels. Yeah, he's got these 6 ladies that only he's allowed to be with.
Pink angels.
And they follow him everywhere. Honestly, I'll tell you what. If I'm being honest, this guy sounds like a bit of an opportunistic sleazebag that created a fucking cult so he could just have his way with fucking as many women as he wanted.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
literally
few
the
of those
vibes I get
around.
from it, but
I mean, it's
Sometimes
like,
not just the women. He'll take it. Everyone.
child bride thing too. Like
Guys, girls, kids. So at least he just stopped at women.
so it's very that is one of the also the controversial points is that people have said that he maintains kind of like a harem of women. I guess it's like it's probably like a rotating roster that he has. But it's hard to find. I feel like it's hard to find in those early day religions where stuff's kind of wild that you're like, that's gonna happen. When you have like a single charismatic leader, like that stuff just seems like it always goes that way.
That's the one point of contact with the higher plane, the higher beings. It's this guy. That's that. I mean, that's a fucking.
Some people find that pretty hot. Like,
nothing sexier than delusions of grandeur, right?
Yeah.
Nah, he's got the direct connection, the man bun on there, just like
the man bun. Yeah,
that's it. That must have increased his power because, dude, those early day pictures of him with the straight up like just the side fro like stuff coming out. That's really good.
It's a good look.
I'm surprised it survived those days, but here he is still walking around in his General Zod suit and partying like it's 1999. But that's something we'll probably end up doing a deeper dive on, maybe a confidential or something about talking about realism. But it's kind of like the overview of like the UFO religions, how they are now.
And there's lots more.
There's lots more.
We're just
and the thing
skipping
is,
over a couple.
the bit like Scientology. We didn't even talk about that. That's
That's its own thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
What I find interesting,
that was like the most. Scientology's got to be the most powerful of
and the most poorly written of all.
like
these
they
fucking
just like
religions.
the celebrity they secured. It's like it's insane.
Yeah. What I do find interesting is that even though a lot of these, like, they seem a lot different, like their kind of roots are all kind of based around the same stuff. Like a lot of this stuff is kind of pulled from, I know we haven't talked about her, but I have her on a list there about Madame Blavatsky's kind of her whole entire shtick, like back in it's like 1920s and stuff, like, advent of like spiritualism and rising of that stuff is like a lot of the stuff that we see come to prominence, like these religious movements, New Age movements, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, is all kind of based off of her kind of ideas of the, like at least like these kinds of ends of the world, like these mishmashes of Eastern and Western cultures kind of coming together, that all of the previous religions are all actually one religion. All of the major figures are all actually just connected in the same way. They're all part of the same society or, race of dimensional beings. And so it's like they all have these very similar roots, and then they all kind of like they have the very like same philosophical roots, is kind of a lot of them kind of fit into that area, which is always which we'll get into eventually down the line, talking about Madame Blavatsky's very like infamous and like long career of all that kind of stuff, and where that all led us for a couple different places. You know, so I don't know. It's like these kinds of things. It's like, I don't know. They're newer religions. It's like these are new age religions, and they just kind of crop up around the 50s and 60s, all around there, and people are just kind of being like, yeah, no, we know what, aliens are the thing. You know, we move away from the divine, I suppose, to something that is a little bit more fiction, sciencey kind of.
Dude,
you replace angels with aliens. You're just like, you know, that's what they, you know. You're
what's more?
what's
like the actual biblical like description of angels? Like fucking some horror shit.
Oh, like, the biblical representation. Yeah, 5,000 eyes and wings and golden circles. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that is some sci-fi shit, but they didn't have enough imagination, right? So they're like, I can't really make it cool. Right? Like,
I mean, if the world completely restarted right now, and the first thing the new people walking the earth found was a Harry Potter book, we'd be worshiping Harry Potter. And we'd be worried about fucking Lord Voldemort.
We'd all be choosing our houses.
Taking us, like everything would be divided. There would be no countries. There's just houses.
Man, you're just one crazy dictator away with somehow gets like a powerful army behind him, takes over a bit, but he's one of these religions. He's one of these small religions. And in 2,000 years, we look back and trace back like, he started it. And all of a sudden now all of Europe is Catholic.
It's just start with one guy trying to get laid and look what happens.
You know, and then you have an army, you take over, you implant that religion, and thousands of years we look back and it's the dominant branch.
Oh, that's how Christianity started.
That's
Constantine was just like,
Constantinople.
I'm the ruler of like half of the Roman Empire.
We do this now.
We're Christians now. Yeah. I had a dream, and we're Christians now. That's good.
So in 2,000 years, when after we nuke ourselves back to the Stone Age and we look back at the current religions at the time, those will be the new ones. The other ones have been erased.
Maybe all these religions are just stepping stones for like aliens for like disclosure, where they're like, okay, let's move the needle a little bit. All right. They're believing that the guy had magical powers. Now let's let them know that he wasn't really a human guy. All right. Let's move the bar a little bit. Right. And it's just a real slow disclosure.
Well,
I mean, that would make more sense.
Yeah. I mean, at the heart of religion is like the do no harm, right? That's like
most of these ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like
it's just sad that we need that to be good people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like religion always has that central message of good. And then if you depending on the one, there's always some crazy shit that goes along with it. But they all start with like, you know, religion as a point of, for a lot of people, as like a moral like ground. It's great and it works, and you have a sense of community, and you go every week and you do this and you live great life. Really, most do. There's nothing wrong with it. But then, yeah.
Well, you had to come up with something to keep people in line eventually, right?
Yeah, we're creatures that love like a system and a group, like culture of like being a community. Especially in like smaller, like you go to church, there's a couple hundred people, the same families. It's like it's a comforting experience. It's just when they sometimes get a little crazy, and then they threaten you that if you listen to the wrong religion, then you're going to be torn limb for limb in eternity in a burning fire hell pit.
Yeah,
you're like, this seems a little unreligious.
You're like, where does
it
say that? Where does it say that?
It's kind of like we lost some in translation sometimes.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the crazy thing about like Christianity is no one could read it for like hundreds of years. It was just like a ascended language that like
we had to pull it from the Greek. We had to translate it from Greek.
That's what I mean. And then you have these fucking guys in wizard cloaks, and they're chanting, and they're the only ones that can read it, and everyone's like, yeah, I guess that's the
incense.
One. And then they finally translate it to a new language. Probably change some stuff along the way. But it's just a crazy human concept that a small group of people with a belief, and they're articulate, well-spoken, can make that spread to like, you get a couple hundred, then 1,000, and then it snowballs, and then you have a new religion, really, like over a few generations.
And you don't pay taxes.
Don't pay taxes.
But like okay, do you like, on that note of like,
you're the Church of Satan. Church of Satan paid taxes.
We didn't know bullshit, like what it said.
Intentionally,
it took hundreds of years to
taxes because they don't believe that
translate
they should be tax free.
And I like them.
Took hundreds of years to translate stuff. you know, and then it's like, did stuff get lost in translation and stuff? But maybe
100%.
maybe the description was more science fiction than we know originally.
It's pretty science fiction-y, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like when we say like, oh yeah, he was Jesus.
Resurrection.
Jesus was a man. It's like, maybe he wasn't a man, but maybe they're like, well, he had to be a man because what else would they be talking about? Right? Like they couldn't be talking about this has to mean man.
Listen, we know lost in translation for the longest time. How many people thought Jesus was white? Look how many times we fucking painted the guy.
We rewrote the characters way. That's what happened.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Listen, that was
So he
the
could have been
first
green
case
for all we know.
Yeah.
Like, I got no idea.
Everyone knows.
Dude, that's got to be the
Jesus
biggest
is
con.
American.
The biggest con in all of humanity is trying to believe that a man
White Jesus?
2,000 years ago in that area was white. It's just, come on.
Oh, listen, they gave us Jake Gyllenhaal as the Prince of Persia.
true.
Okay, they've been pulling this shit for a long time. Sick of it.
Yeah.
2,000
We've been
years. Yeah,
whitewashing,
he was just one
Right.
white guy just hanging around.
Stop whitewashing us.
It's not like he was born there. It's not like he came from Europe. He like migrated into the area and set up shop. No, he was born there. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Jesus is American through and through.
My Jesus
Mullet.
is an alien.
Sweatpants. Every weekend he's out there. Gentlemen, start your engines. That's my Jesus.
He's turning water into like
Sweet
Miller
old
Lite.
gas.
Bud Light, I'll tell you that much.
Miller Lite now. Yeah, he changed.
Yeah.
After he shot it with a machine gun, he changed the beer.
yeah. This is America.
Kid Rock's Jesus?
Kid Rock's Jesus, I think.
His back and his like the bed of his truck chock full of illegal fireworks. Like
Yeah. That's my Jesus. That's who dies for my sins.
So I guarantee we'll dip into some of the other because there are tons of other ones that we want to talk about that we came across while researching these ones. Like the
Absolutely.
So there will be more of these ones, I'm sure.
Yeah.
These coming out.
There's so many. It's insane.
And they all have their own like little flavors of beliefs. And
As
I'm
I
sure
said
we'll
again, you
find
got
one
to
that's right
tune
for
in
you.
to After Hours to hear the next one.
Yeah.
How it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to get on the ground floor of a new UFO religion.
You want to
tune
get
in
on when the
After
share
Hours.
price is at 1 penny? Got to get in now.
You want to make sure that you make it onto the spaceship with your balls intact? We got
Yeah.
you.
You have to invest in our company through some type of crypto with no contract,
Yeah.
and then we'll just take that.
It's a reverse
you're-
funnel.
Yeah.
You're gonna you're gonna make money too because you give us money and then you go out and you recruit 4 people to give you money and you get those 4 people to give you money. We're all making money.
You get 2
Right?
of their money, but you have to pass on their 2 money up the chain again. But you still get 2, so
Yeah.
you're getting 2 to 1 now.
Yeah.
You're making 100% profit.
Yeah. It's really simple math. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Alien Theorists podcast.
That's the greatest sales pitch we could do. Do you want to be rich,
Yeah.
powerful,
Do you wanna be
famous?
rich? Yeah.
All you have to do.
No, so what we need you to do as our supporters, we need you to start a podcast and we need you to recruit fans to
To promote our
to support
podcast
your
to
podcast. Yeah, and then you can support our podcast.
We're starting a network.
Yeah. It's been scientifically proven that there are glomalulon particles in the air that are making you depressed, making you sad. Like we're able to measure those with our Braden's we have properly calibrated
properly calibrated
EMF reader.
Yeah.
And we know how to take care of it.
Then we got to treat that. So we'll give you some miracle spring water.
Yeah.
from
You wanna get
underneath the
healed right
Bosnian
away?
pyramids. Like
You want to get healed right away? $50 or more on RPG.
Entry has to be you just have to coat your head in Nair and just lose your hair.
can't shave it.
Peel it off.
Yeah. If you're not thinning, you can't join.
Yeah.
You have
Everyone's
to
just
be
going to be
part of
thinning.
our religion. We don't take anyone with a good head of hair. No one. You're out.
Yeah, that's true. We don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't trust them. What are you doing? What are you doing that we're not doing?
That's the devil's work.
You're sinning.
That's the devil's
sign
work.
of sinning.
It is.
Yeah, 100%. Full head of hair, sign of sinning.
If you're over 30
Dan's
years
the
old and you
least
have a head of
sinner
hair,
here.
If you're not receding, you're a heathen.
Dan's never sinned.
That's
Dan's never sinned.
Dan's our longest member.
Yeah. The founding father.
The most devout.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
holy.
He lives, he's the extremist in the group of,
We got to talk him down from some stuff.
if you ain't receding,
I'm
you're
a head
evil.
inquisitor.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Heresy.
Did we have
No,
it?
we didn't. I just looked. I couldn't find anything.
Don't even say it.
Don't
No,
say it?
don't
All right.
say it.
Well,
I didn't see anything.
I
Guys.
earned it.
We were too focused on collecting logos for the competition, which is now
Not enough swastikas.
now
not
pretty
close.
much. I think we
It's
we
pretty
got
much
it.
closed.
We're
Pretty
at
much
zero right now.
I mean,
That's not
listen,
enough.
if you're hearing this, chances are we haven't officially closed it yet. So you could probably sneak one in, but
Better be good,
it would
though, 'cause we got a good one.
I'm telling you,
We got a good one.
competition's
Yeah.
stiff.
It's
I'm like,
good.
the top three
Top
for
three are really
sure.
good.
I would probably locked, and I would say like, dude, even picking the top three is going to be fucking tough.
They've got a-
I know we have kind of a clear couple that are up there.
Yeah, there's a couple straight to the top, and then there's a handful more that are going to be tough. But there's a ton. I mean, there's lots of great entries, and some of them will be
Yeah.
used for T-shirts, and we'll make sure to compensate as needed. Because there's some really good logos. We appreciate. There was honestly dozens and dozens and dozens of entries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tons.
All awesome.
yeah, some
All individually awesome
for their own reasons. Some just amazing, just
reasons,
because they're
yeah.
so relevant to the show, and it's like something.
Couple stinkers.
Hilarious.
Of course.
Couple stinkers.
Come on, of course there's going to be a couple.
Couple fucking stinkers where we were like, come on. Really? You think we're going to use this one? Come on. You know
Doesn't
who
even
you
have a
are.
swastika in it.
There's no racially insensitive
No,
logos
they're
in
good.
this.
I enjoyed them all. There was some, and there were some where I was like, God damn, like I love this. Maybe for other things. I like this for other things.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay.
some stuff that didn't is not going to make the top three is going to be repurposed for other things.
There was a couple I sent back. I just messaged the people back. I said, go fuck yourself. You're out of this competition.
We're honest. We're honest critics.
How dare you?
Not everyone gets a participation ribbon here. Okay. No,
Get out. Just get out.
gold, silver, and bronze, and everyone else lost.
Get the fuck out.
That was awesome.
I actually said that. In the ad for the competition. I said like I listed what everyone gets, and then for the
Sucks to
fourth
suck.
place, I said sucks to suck.
It's life, man.
And then we got a lot of entries, and I'm like, there's going to be a lot of people in that.
A lot of people who sucks to suck.
Well, it's true.
We appreciate it. It was a fun to see them all come in, but yeah, I think we got it locked. But we'll probably put
I
it
think so.
a little ad saying it's closed officially with the date we're going to do the power hour to have the artist on to release.
Just for some timing reasons and from what other stuff and how we're leaning, we've got a little bit of time before we can kind of set this up properly. So, we'll announce it. We'll announce it on our socials.
Yeah, it won't be too long.
All right, it's coming.
If you're not supporting the show, you got to go to alientheorist.com. You can hit that support tab. Be first in line to join the world's newest, greatest, most badass cult.
Sex positive.
Sex positive.
Sex pause.
No money scams involved. None whatsoever.
Sex positive.
You
air
may or
negative.
may not have to have sex with Braden for entry. That's the easiest way to just kill the cult right there. So. All right, this week's new supporters, we got Manny the
How'd you
Great.
guys get in?
If you don't want to join the cult,
I haven't joined yet.
the cult, you're gonna have sex. We're gonna make you have sex.
It's forced. And then we're really cute.
I'm a gentle lover.
Manny the Great, Seth Miller, Michael Eichhoff. Double check it there. And Cody
Sean
from Manitoba
says-
resubs again for the millionth time. Legend.
Irish Potato said one member, his wife. Well, we have an ex-member too.
It's a couple members. It's a few members there.
It's only a couple members. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, that's it.
Jump on Patreon. It helps support the show. Maybe there might be something for
What?
$10 more coming. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, cut this out. Cut it.
Stop going rogue.
I'm rogue.
As we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.